Hello and welcome to Staying Up with Cami and Taryn. I'm Cami.
And I'm Taryn. And every night, well, most nights, Cami and I get to sleep together.
But
and
this
have
week
a sleepover.
we did not.
This week we did not. So you're here because that's the point of the podcast is that you're here for the sleepover.
It's a sleepover.
It's a sleepover. And thanks for being here. And we love you. Thanks for staying up.
Do you ever think about like if somebody, I feel like when I listen to podcasts, I don't go and listen to the first episode ever.
Yeah.
So I never think about it in the moment. Oh, did you move stuff so you could hold my hand?
Yeah, duh.
That was really cute. There are people who are just jumping into this podcast right now. And I never think about that of like,
The fuckers
this is
who
our
just...
first impression.
Yeah.
People.
What kind of first impression would you like to leave?
Well, I don't know because now I'm nervous. Because before I was like, it's our peepees, we're hanging out, they get us, they know us.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh my God, somebody might not know us and they're just jumping in today. They're here.
And if that's the case, hi. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
We're a bunch of old married hags who are trying to have a baby. And
Yeah, we're really trying. We keep trying every night. It's just not working.
my
mom and I talked about that this weekend.
I actually got a little emotional yesterday when you said how sweet would it be if we got upstairs, if we could just go upstairs and like try. And I almost cried.
We got our genetic testing back yesterday for both of us. And we're like, okay, we need to make sure our donor doesn't have any of these because if we match up with them, it's likely for the child to have these genetic issues.
Child. There's a lot
child.
of the child talk happening.
I know,
it's gross.
Yeah, it is gross. But then I realized while we were like, oh, bummer, okay, we got to be careful about these things. I realized that we don't have ones that match up, so we would be perfect to have kids together. And then I was like, I wish we could just go upstairs right now and just...
And tussle around.
Tussle around. I think I did say tussle.
You did say tussle.
Tussle around in the sheets for a little bit. And then
what are you picturing when you say tussle? What sex act is happening?
No real sex act, but like us rolling around. And then there's like sheets flying everywhere. It's like a movie set.
But we've never done that.
But no one's actually
doing
done that. But you know in movies where like it's filmed under the sheets and there's just like this perfect bellow of sheets.
You know who is doing that?
Who?
People on Love Island. Did you just spit your ice back in there?
Yeah.
I've never seen you do that.
I do ice, spit back my ice all the time. I hate when the ice gets in my mouth. That's why I like specific shaped ice because it doesn't slip in your mouth.
I've never seen that little piece of ice like that go.
Yeah, I hate it.
The dribble. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Cam and I were apart. We were never apart, and we were apart this past week.
Listen, we're not meant for that life.
We're not meant for that. It is not okay.
Yeah, your dad always says that we probably spend too much time together.
Why are my hands like Trump?
Oh my God.
It's not okay.
Wait, we saw a TikTok of a guy comparing JoJo Siwa talking about, I don't even know what she was talking about, but how it is the exact cadence and verbiage that Trump would use.
Yeah.
And it is so dead on.
Never before done.
I'm doing something no one has done before. Powerful. Amazing. It's going to blow your mind.
Then she started talking about the wall.
She was like, and by the way, build the wall. And we were like,
JoJo!
And she's like, and I don't believe in gay people. Joke's on all of you. No, imagine.
But anyway, we were apart. And we've caught up a little loosely about our trips, but I was so exhausted yesterday that I fear most of it has gone over my head. So we just thought, let's just catch each other up, and by way of that,
really
bring the
busy
peepees
during
in.
the trip. So I feel like we didn't get to like chat a lot.
Yes.
Our timing didn't line up. Like obviously you were with your friend for her bachelorette, so you want to be present.
Yeah.
And then you're at a work thing, so obviously you can't be on your phone.
Yeah.
And then when you had time at night, I was like, oh, I'm hanging out with my family now. So it was so sad.
We were very alone.
Yes.
And very sad. I mean, never alone is
Never
really
alone.
the real reality of what was up.
Yeah. So how was your trip, baby? What were some highlights?
My reaction
lowlights?
is not relevant, or is not
a depiction of how
reminiscent about how much fun I had on either of these trips. It was that I was sick, and as you can hear, I'm still a little sicky. I've been sick for what feels like months.
They know. They were here last week's episode.
Yeah.
Which was a while ago because we're behind from being away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys.
I'm not getting better.
Taryn needs rest.
I need to go to a rehab. Like,
oh my God, I saw
I
saw a TikTok of this place.
Rehab.
It's like an LA thing
Yeah.
where you go. It's so expensive. You go for a week, all your meals. It's kind of like, they say it's like a fat camp for celebrities, which is wild because they put you on like a 1,200
calorie.
Yeah, it's like so low, and you hike for like 4 hours in the morning. So people go when they need to like drop weight for a roll. But besides that part of it,
it sounds great.
It sounds great. It sounds like so relaxing. And
even
it's like
having all your meals figured out sounds lovely.
I know. I'm like, I'll eat a little less calories to not have to cook those calories. Sure. And I'll just smuggle in snacks for at night.
What I think they need is more like rehab-y type things like that aren't dependent on a major addiction.
Well, that's why that place is an addiction.
Well, but that's a
honey, it's called a spa.
No, but for days.
Days. Yeah. I want to go to like a retreat.
Have you done a fitness
I want to go
retreat?
to Amangiri, but I don't want to pay for Amangiri.
Amangiri, reach out.
No,
they
don't need us.
But like fitness retreats do that. Where like boxing camps, there's like ones where you go for like 5 days and you box on the beach.
But I don't want to have to work out the whole trip. Like I'd love them to have like Pilates, yoga, boxing options. Yeah. Or it's like, if you don't want to do those, you can go for a walk around the gardens. Like I want a week where no one can call me. Don't call me. Don't text me.
Yep.
Leave me alone.
Except me.
At this place you get
Am I there?
You're there. Duh.
Okay.
Honey, we just talked about how I can't spend a minute apart from you. At that place you get a massage every day.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm wanting. Mm-hmm. So I kind of feel like I need that really badly right now.
Yeah.
And
you
I
just
feel
need to, like, rest, honey.
I'm a very social person. I like to chat. I really give it my all in a social situation.
There's no half-assing when you're meeting the beautiful Taryn.
I'm finding myself being the ringleader in a lot of situations. I'm the game person. I'm the whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a heavy cross to bear. I know it sounds like it's all fun and games, but let me tell you from the inside. Let me tell you from the top. It's bad.
Let me tell you from the top.
No, it's just I really need someone else to drive conversation every once in a while. But I'm at this bachelorette party for my sweet friend Katie, who is the only girl on my side of my wedding party. She's the best. She's a teacher. She is perfect. She's literally the perfect person. It's
true.
She's perfect. If she was gay, she would be even more perfect.
Yeah.
But Luisa's great. Her boy's great.
Hey, you're the one who didn't want to straight bash this year.
So, wait, what?
Your resolution was no straight bashing.
I'm not bashing her because she's straight. I'm saying she would just be better if she was gay. Think about it.
I mean, I agree.
See what
when on the straight bashing thing, I said fair game.
But it's honestly just the thought of her and a wiener is tough for me.
How dare you?
I'm just saying, it's a little like...
We cannot have another episode where we talk about wieners. On like a lesbian hosted podcast.
I'm just saying it's nasty, bro. So, that bachelorette party was at my parents' house in Palm Springs, and it was 8 people. 8 people is a lot of people. Okay,
it's a lot of people.
It was very fun. We had a great time. We did pool time. We did bachelorette shit, games, drinking, etc.
Getting kooky.
But this group is mostly either married or has kids or is pregnant.
Yeah, we're at a point in our lives where bachelorette parties look different.
But you feel like they shouldn't. That's the problem. There's
the pressure to have it be silly, goofy, penis straws.
Yes.
And pin the
like,
dick on the picture.
Be sick. Like be sick from drinking, basically.
Yeah, you should be violently ill in the morning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's such a weird expectation because like we're just in the bad age range. Like early 30s is bad for that because it's like we can't do that anymore. I don't want to lose my whole Saturday.
Yeah.
On a 3-day weekend or a 3-day trip with my closest friends. It's like, I don't want that. But Katie's a pro. She pukes and rallies like left and right. Literally at one point, her eyes were kind of glazing over and I was like, bro. And I thought we lost her for the night. She went, threw up, came back. Totally new person.
Wait, that's incredible.
She's amazing at that.
That is remarkable.
The first night, babe, I didn't even tell you this. I was sleeping with her in my parents' like bigger bedroom. And just because I didn't really know anyone else, I knew Allison, but I didn't know the rest of the girls very much.
Well, and like the star of the show should get the biggest bedroom.
Right. And the house, it was my house.
And she knows your parents.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Anywho.
You're like, I got the bride. See y'all
I got the bride in the big room.
See y'all suckers later.
We're like laying down in bed, like, you know, it's funny to sleep with your friends when you don't sleep with them very often. Yeah. So it's just kind of silly, whatever. And then she gets up in the middle of falling asleep, comes back and goes, okay, I threw up. I feel way better. I'm like, I'd be sobbing.
Yeah.
You would, everyone in this house would be holding me.
Also, I can't remember the last time I threw up the night of. Like, I get bad hangovers.
We weren't even
during
drunk.
The day.
Like, I feel like we weren't even drunk.
Maybe she just throws up easily.
Yeah.
And some people like to get it out quick.
Yeah.
Gross.
So multiple people threw up throughout the weekend. Other people, no.
Wow. Well done.
No,
you never do.
I don't throw up. I ain't be throwing up, baby. Yes. That ain't for me.
Except for the night we got engaged.
Except for that great night. But it was great. It's just you spend the whole weekend kind of being like, what should a bachelorette party be versus what is actual reality of what a trip should look like with you would want a trip to look like with all your best friends at the stage of life that you're in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's what do you want it to be? Just like we had to decide with our wedding of like, okay, let go of the expectations and the ideas people have of a wedding.
Yes.
What do I actually want?
Totally.
Like, I don't want to be wasted and blackout and sick all day. That is not appealing to me. So why should I feel pressured to do that because it's my bachelorette or I'm on a bachelorette?
100%. But then the flip side is you're a bunch of adults. Some of you have kids. Some of you, all of you have like big jobs. You have one weekend away and you're kind of like, you almost need a drink to stop worrying about whatever's going on at home.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of like, oh, should we play games? Should we watch something? You know, it's just fun. It's a funny stage of life.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was really fun.
Good.
But I was fucking exhausted.
Yeah, that's just hard when you went in not feeling awesome and then like drinking, partying, trying to like rally, meeting people you don't know.
Yeah.
And then I think not only that, but the idea that you knew after it, you weren't going home. You were then flying to a work trip.
Yeah.
It's like there was no light at the end of the tunnel in those moments.
I'll get into my work trip after you tell us about your eclipse trip.
I had a great time. The eclipse is incredible. My mom and I went to Nashville to see it in 2017. And that was just such a cool experience. And since then, she's been like, Dad has to see this. He'll love it. It's amazing.
Oh, I didn't know your dad didn't go.
Yeah, he hadn't seen one. So my mom was like, he needs to see this. Like, I'm determined to get him to see this.
He's such a like nerd.
Yeah. And it's funny.
Sorry for calling your dad a nerd. I meant it in a loving way.
He would love that. He geeks out over stuff. He's a cool nerd. But what was really weird is I just felt like a shift in myself going into it of how I wanted to handle any like family conflicts.
Cammy went in fully, I'm going to be a therapist to me and my family.
But not only that, but like I'm going to let go of things that are out of my control as well. Like I can only control myself. That was the mindset I wanted. So
very healthy.
I didn't really, it's not that I went in with a plan. I just had like felt that in me of like, something's got to change here. Yeah. There's like too much tension and conflict that arises out of nothing when we're all together. There's
this is what I talked about on the last episode.
Yeah, of the like, if I disagree or I don't like what you said, I'm going to say it. And it's going to be a little conflict and then it goes away. And it's...
Can I also add one thing? It also, a lot of people are like, that's just my family. We like fight and then we're fine. It doesn't feel like that in your family.
I think because...
You know what I mean? Like Boston families are like, we're just so loud. We yell, blah, blah, blah. And then,
we're passionate.
It's no big nothing. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't feel like that. It's a kind of a different breed of that.
Yeah, it's like, I think it can be a cultural thing for certain people of like, I have a really big family. You got to be loud to be seen. It's just how we handle stuff. It's how we have a lot of emotions and we let them happen. Or I don't feel like our family's like that. It just is too snippy at each other.
Too snippy.
So I went in like, I've been thinking about this and I've been like, I've talked about this. The first therapy session I ever had, I had talked about it. It's something that I've been...
cover my dogs. I don't want nobody looking.
Let me hide the dogs. It's been something I've been wanting to figure out, but it's really hard to break those old habits with your family and like rise above it and change when other people maybe aren't willing to change, aren't ready to change, or don't even think they need to change.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went in and I wanted to fix things, and I felt I was like... My mom and I had some great conversations the first couple of days I was there before the eclipse. And then when we got to the eclipse, my mom and I got in an argument that was so stupid. And I was just like, I went to bed that night like so bummed that it happened. And at first I was like mad at her and her part in this. And then I was like, no, I'm mad at me. I didn't handle, like, I'm not proud of how I handled that. Like, yes, I'm mad at what she said and what she did, but I could have not reacted that way.
Yeah.
And just like let that go. So next morning I went in and I apologized to her and was like, I went in going, I'm not going to have any expectation of what she says and what she does right now.
Yeah.
But let me go do what my part is. And I did. And I felt better.
I love that.
It's like she didn't apologize to me in that moment, but I didn't need that. It was like, okay, I feel good about how I handled it.
Yeah.
And then I had talked to my dad. Like I had a few conversations about it. And then, yeah, just like regulating your emotions and learning how to like express yourself in a healthier way with each other.
Yeah.
And my goal isn't to change my family members. It's not in my power. It's not my job to do. And I can't do that work for them.
Nobody can change anybody.
Yeah. But I can raise this to them and I can share.
Bring awareness.
Yeah. No, but really like,
yeah.
Even my last night there, my parents were talking about something. And I know that in their head, it's not a fight and it's not bickering, but it is. And I was just like so tired. I was like, guys, come on. Can we like not fight for 1 minute? And my mom started telling me like, we're not fighting. And I was like, you are literally fighting with me now about how we don't fight. Like, this is my experience. This is how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. And then you're literally being like, this experience right now is the thing I'm talking about.
Yes, exactly. I think that kind of hit a nerve and kind of made stuff click and was helpful. So yeah, I had a way more enjoyable experience. Not that any other people's actions changed, but my ability to move through things differently and just stop my habits. Mm-hmm. It left me feeling like, oh, I can have better relationships here. And I'm really proud that I was able to stop myself or when I didn't stop myself, recognize it.
That's awesome.
And fix it. So yeah. And then I saw this horoscope thing on Instagram of like, you're supposed to go off your rising sign of what the eclipse is going to do for you. There was a bunch of other stuff happening.
It's crazy.
And I read it and I'm a Virgo rising. So I read the Virgo one and it literally was like, you will work to change. What did it say? I actually want to find it. Like you will work to be changing.
Yeah, it's like
your letting go of things you can't control with your relationships, family, friends, significant person.
It was in the cards for you to come out and be like, peace mama.
Yeah, basically. Not even like the peace person, but like just like you're going to recognize habits that you no longer like and that just don't feel good for you.
What'd you look this up on?
I didn't look it up. I'm scrolling Instagram.
Oh,
and one of those like like I follow a bunch of stuff like that, and it was just all of the different ones.
What did it say for me?
I don't know.
Did you look?
I don't think I did. You're a Pisces rising. I'll find it. I forget the account, but I'm sure I'll find it for you. But yeah, it was just really nice, and it made me feel really good. And then I love being at an airport alone. I love just like
you don't like being there with me.
I don't dislike being there with you, but there's something about traveling and like I'm there, I have nowhere to go. Like I don't like going out and shopping alone because I'm like I don't like not having a destination. There I'm like I'm stuck here for however long. I went to the Capital One Lounge when I was in Denver.
How was it?
Beautiful.
What'd you do?
Oh my god.
Did you lounge?
I lounged. Well, I had my work call for the podcast.
Yep. Wait, what?
For planning the other podcast.
I
had a work call so I needed it to be kind of quiet and I had to post some stuff. So I went in there, got a little snack, got a little glass of wine, found a quiet corner with this like big cozy chair. Cute. And then by the time I did all that, it was time to go. So I like went to the bathroom and the bathrooms were beautiful. They had showers there.
Oh, insane.
It was gorgeous. It was $65 to get in, even though I have a Capital One card.
That
is
robbery.
Yeah, so there's a certain type. Let me explain. There's a certain type that's free.
Okay.
And then for specific Capital One cards, my card doesn't get you anything. I had gone like 15, 20 minutes away from my gate to get there. So by the time I got there, because the American Express one was right by my gate. So I was like, whatever. I didn't do that. So there's a new girl working there and she's like, oh, it's only $45 for you. And I was like, oh, amazing. I'm going to get food, a drink. That'll cover it. Yeah. And then her supervisor came up and she's like, no, with this card, it's $65. And I was like,
whatever.
I'm here. I'm not going to, like, what else am I going to do? And then I was like, if I get food at an airport, it's going to be $20, $30.
What
if I get a drink.
Have at the lounge?
I got a little salad
Was it good? Or like,
yeah, it
was it a buffet?
Kind of. It wasn't like, there wasn't a lot. There weren't a lot of options for me. But like, I feel like for you, it would have been worth it. You could have had like a proper full meal.
Yeah. I'm not a buffet girl.
Then it was like very small stuff. And it was cool. They had like a wall behind it and it opened up and people were constantly replenishing it. Like, it wasn't buffet as much as it was like.
You weren't like sharing utensils.
No.
Okay.
Gross.
That's a normal buffet.
No, it was like.
And that's what airport lounges.
I know, it was way nicer. That. It was much nicer.
That's
and then
great.
when you left, it had a little like market behind the desk.
Mm-hmm.
You just grabbed a bag. And I put a little sandwich in my bag,
Cute.
A couple waters.
Cute.
They had like fruit.
That's worth $65.
Yeah, I was like, if I would have bought snacks, went to lunch,
yeah,
and got a drink,
yeah,
I would have spent $65.
That's
anyways,
worth it.
So.
That's worth it.
I thought so.
So
I felt
overall,
like you spending so much money. I was like, I'm turning into my baby.
No, I think that's worth it. Overall, great trip for you.
Great trip.
Great to see the fam.
Great to see the fam.
How did the eclipse make you feel? Like the actual moment when you saw it? Did you have any like epiphanies? Were we sad? Were we happy? Were we, you know?
No feeling, no like actual other feelings, just of how incredible it is. It is the most, it's so magical. Like during the eclipse, you have to see totality. I know a lot of people got to see partial.
Yeah, I saw like little ball
and
passing.
that's cool.
Yeah,
like to see it like kind of carve out the sun is cool. It kind of just ends up looking like the moon when you're only seeing parts of it.
Yeah.
The totality aspect of it is incredible. Like the temperature drops, all the animals are like going to bed.
Yeah.
It's so it gets so dark. I actually filmed it on my vlog camera the whole like 2
I
minutes
wanna see.
before the whole like the world like turning off. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It just feels special.
Yeah.
I think it's so worth people flying. The next one's in 20 years. Go through like Canada and stuff.
Cool.
So I think we should go.
I'm down. We'll be 50s. We'll be in our 50s.
Holy
in 20 years. Our kids will, if all goes according to plan,
God,
our kids will be like
18.
Yeah. Our kids will be high schoolers to college students.
Oh my God.
That's pretty cool.
20 years doesn't seem far until you put it into that perspective.
100%.
Whoa. That's wild.
Speaking of cute little things with your parents, after everyone left in Palm Springs, my parents came out because they were going to come out my dad was going golfing with his friends. And so they came out for the night, which was really fun. It was just the three of us. I love when it's three of us. It's cute and comfy and just like, I feel like a little kid again.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, do you want to go golfing with me? Like, I'd love it if you came. And he was going with Steve Edwards, and Steve Edwards' son was there. And then our neighbor that we hate, spooky neighbor guy across the street.
Publicly say that.
Hey, he's Sheldon's not listening to this.
But someone might know him.
Nobody knows Sheldon. And if they do, he's annoying. He's fine. He's just a little like whatever. He's like the most typical dude.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what he said when we were golfing. But I'm like, Dad, why don't you pick me up on like when you come by the house and I'll go with you.
Oh, so you don't do the whole 18 holes?
Yeah, because it was like 4 hours.
Yeah. Oof.
And
tough.
And he picks me up. He's so happy.
Aww.
My dad is like, I'm so glad you came. Thank you so much. This is so fun.
Baby, that's so cute.
He plays like 2 holes and does really well. He's like, Tara, I'm doing really good. Look at my score. Da, da, da. He's like, plays 2 holes, does really well. And Steve Edwards is like, Taryn, he's showing up for you. He's got his daughter on the course. He's trying to make you feel proud of him, blah, blah, blah. And I just sat there.
You're like, I am.
And I was like, wait, he literally is.
Yeah.
Like, he is so happy right now.
He wants to impress you.
And then I just felt like it must feel so weird to be a parent of a adult kid and still in your head see them as like 10 years old or whatever, and he's driving his little girl around a golf course golf course and being like, okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my 9-iron and I'm gonna try to do this, whatever. And then he played a couple bad holes and he was like, see, I shouldn't have done that. Here's why. Da, 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 da. It's just like, this is so fucking cute. And then Sheldon came over. So,
oh no.
There's so much here. After every hole, you all tell each other your scores because you write them on your little paper.
Yeah.
It was very fun, very community, very cute. I was unfortunately having to keep Sheldon's score, which I don't like that. And
why?
Because I don't want.
Why was he keeping his own score?
Everyone, like 2 people out of the 4 people are keeping score.
You're being catty. The caddy.
What?
The golf caddy. You were playing the caddy.
Oh, I thought you're being catty.
No,
like
you're
bitchy.
being a caddy with D's.
I don't know. Like my dad was keeping score before I got there. And then Steve Edwards was also keeping score. I think so they can cross-reference to make sure everything's legit.
Okay.
Whatever. So I had nothing to do on this golf cart. So I start keeping score because I'm like, okay, this will be fun.
Yeah.
So I'm having to write down Sheldon's score every time. And he's got a little line for everything. He's little golf jokes. He got his he's just that kind of guy. And he pulls up his cart next to us. And he's like, yeah, this hole I did really good at yesterday because I saw a bunch of beauties on the golf course. He was referring to me and all the girls for the bachelorette party.
Gross.
And I'm like, eek. And then he said like a gaggle of women or something. And then my dad goes, it's not called a gaggle, Sheldon. And he's like, then they drove away. We're all laughing. And I'm like, Dad, he's so weird. And then, and he's like, I know, but he's kind of nice, but he is also very weird.
He has good intentions. And he doesn't realize the things he's saying are like not kosher.
Yes.
And he's not probably receptive to hearing it's not kosher.
He's also from like Iowa or something and lives there.
Remember when he like didn't understand when we were getting ready for our wedding and he was like, wait,
whose wedding?
You're getting married? We were like, both of ours. And he was like,
you're getting married at the same time?
You're getting married at the same day. We're like, to each other. It's not that complicated.
And then so we drive forward and then he pulls up again, on a golf course. I can't stop saying golf course when I mean golf cart. On a golf cart, you can pull up 2 inches next to someone else. Yeah. So he pulls up and I'm basically in his car with him all of a sudden. And he's like, what would you say instead of a gaggle? A group? A blah, blah. And I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Say whatever you want. I don't care.
Leave me alone, Sheldon. Whatever. All to say, Sheldon was weird, but everything else was perfect. And I kept thinking, golf is so for the girls.
So for the, I mean, like, be outside, sip your little wine, ride your little cart,
play a sport barely.
Sounds like the perfect day. Like, I get to hang out in a park all day.
Babe, and you just have so much gear. That's the thing no one is talking about.
Shit.
You get to buy like 1 million clubs, and then they all wear little hats and like socks on them.
Yeah, you like get cute little outfits.
And like, okay, the cutest bit is when everyone pulls up in their carts to see how far they have to hit the next one. Mm-hmm. They have these little like range finders, which looks like a little microscope thing, or telescope, microscope. Binoculars. They look like binoculars. And you put them on and you see all the guys put on these little glasses and go, all right, about 120 yards. We're going to use our 9-iron or whatever.
It's so funny to me because I'm like, aren't you just hitting it as hard as you possibly can?
No.
Like, are you ever hitting it too far?
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do that.
You are. Because there's sand on the other side. There's water on the other side. Or the course is tilted in a certain way.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, like, my dad's showing me all these little things. He's like, oh, I'm trying to hit it over here because if I go for that, I think I'm going to be a little bit too short. So, I would rather pick up an extra stroke.
Yeah, your dad always says you would rather be too short than be too far.
I know.
He always says, that's true. He does always say that.
And I just thought, we got to get into golf.
We got to do it.
We need to reclaim. How fun, babe, would it be if us and, like, 2 of our girlfriends were like, hey, Saturday, do you want to go golfing?
Yeah,
and we spent 4 hours on the range, like, in the sun.
This sounds great. Get a little tan going.
Smack a ball around.
Well,
and also men are not that good. They
they don't know what they're doing.
They say they're golfers and they fucking just fling it to the left.
Well, that's why I think they kind of don't want the girlies coming. Because we're going to learn, like, one, it's not that hard. Mm-hmm. That one ball I hit when we went with the boys. Yeah. Perfection.
Oh, I didn't even tell you. Did I tell you that I hit a couple balls with my dad?
No.
I bogeyed, which I think means 1 over par.
Incredible. I think it does.
And I didn't warm up. I didn't do anything. Didn't try? Didn't think?
Yeah.
No, I was really nervous. But
I also think women are calmer and more, like, collected. That we'd be better at golf. Like, you have to, like, stay
Men
focused.
are from Venus.
Exactly.
When Kimmy went to dinner in Erie, there was apparently a riddle.
No. When I was at the doctor's office with my mom. Which honestly makes more sense because
I thought you guys were all figuring it out at dinner.
No.
I thought that's what happened.
We were at I have to go into my text. I deleted the picture. I
love a riddle. I can't believe I never tried to
how smart at a doctor's office because we had to wait for a while. But then it was fun to have like a little riddle to do while we waited.
Yep.
Wow, we sent each other a lot of photos.
Of what?
What the hell? I don't know. Random shit. Oh, here it is. Okay.
So tell me.
The riddle is...
PP's figured out with me. Let's go.
Delete my first letter. Now I belong to us all. Instead, drop my second. I now make a fine shawl. If you take my third, I'll tell you the purpose I serve. Excuse me. Keep all my 4 letters, a crowd plus 1 you'll observe. It's a 4-letter word.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
So, I'm just going to read it backwards because it's the same. Keep all my 4 letters, a crowd plus 1 you'll observe. If you take my third letter...
Not you holding up a shaka.
I'll tell you the purpose I serve. If you drop my second, I now make a fine shawl. Delete my first letter. Now I belong to us all. So...
Yeah, so it's all sorts of...
It's worded really weird that it says delete my letter, drop it.
It's just saying...
I was wondering if it was like tricking you and it meant something.
I don't figure that
I got hung up on that, but it's not. It's just...
Can I see it one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first thought is like delete my first letter. I'm feeling it... I'm like, okay, wait, delete my first letter, now I belong to us all.
What could
I'm thinking of like air.
Okay.
Or like, am I right? Or similar?
Do you want me to be?
No, don't tell me. But I'm thinking like air. I'm thinking of belongs to us all, like a soul. I'm thinking
3 letters.
Yeah, true. I belong to us all. Maybe it's like, I don't think that it would be like a body part because not everyone has every body part.
My dad, when I did this to him, he said this one immediately. And I was like, oh, done. He's going to figure it out. And I think he forgot he said it.
Oh.
Because then it took him a minute.
Okay. Let's pretend it's air or sky or something like that.
Okay.
Instead, drop my second. I now make a fine shawl. What the fuck is another name for a shawl?
It's not going to be another name. It's not a synonym for shawl.
It's like fur.
The thing could make
a shawl.
A
fur. Okay, it's fur. Okay, so now I'm thinking it's fair is going to be something like fair because okay, wait. Now instead drop my second. So you'd be dropping the A to get fur. But if you dropped your first letter and it was
Baby,
fair.
how do you spell fair?
Fair?
How do you spell fur?
Fir. Fur.
It's a U. Fur is fur.
Oh.
I was like, how are you getting fair and fur to fit?
Fur. So what is blank UR? It belongs to us all. Oh, our. OUR. Okay. 4. If you take my third, I'll tell you the purpose I serve. FOR. Doesn't make sense to me. The purpose I serve? 4?
What is it for? What's the purpose? What is this for?
That didn't tell you the purpose. It just says... that one's weird.
Yeah, I guess that is weird.
Keep all my 4 letters, a crowd plus 1, and you'll observe. 4. A crowd is 5. A crowd plus 1. Oh, 3's a crowd. So plus 1. Okay, got it. 4.
Good job. That was quick. That's exactly. I figured it out backwards because, again, I was so hung up on delete, take.
Yeah.
But then I was like, a crowd plus 1. There's nothing that's a crowd that you can just add 1 and it changes its meaning.
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like an audience. Obviously, that's way too long of a word. But I was like, none of that makes sense. And then I was like, what's a crowd? And then I was like, three's a crowd. And my mom and I were both like, oh.
Hell yeah. Good job. I mean, good job, I guess.
Yeah, good job, you. That was fun. I love a riddle. Oh I love a riddle.
Okay, so golf was so fun. Let me see what else I wrote down. Okay, my little work trip then became me flying to Scottsdale. Oh my God, I'm so excited to tell the peepees about this. Holy
What?
Fuck. Guys.
Oh, I know it.
My anxiety paid off for potentially the second time in my life. The first time was when my appendix was.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew
I was
it.
like,
I was going to say when my appendix was off. That's not what I meant. But, something was off with my appendix.
Yeah.
The second time is we are on this work trip. this is for Grandstand, the company that I've been working with. There are 12 of us, and we get together quarterly is the cadence because we're all fully remote. We're all over the U.S. So this was the first one I got to go to. I was so fucking excited. It was a great trip. But we stay in 2 different Airbnbs. One Airbnb is the big one. It has all the cool shit. It's got pool. It's got pickleball. It's got basketball. It's on a golf course. Such a vibe. Second one is just for sleeping. That was for the 3 people that got there on Monday.
Yeah.
Which was including me. I land from Palm Springs to Scottsdale or whatever.
Phoenix.
Monday morning. And I have like 40 minutes until I have to go to the house, to the big house for the meetings to start. And I go to our first Airbnb. I walk in. No one else has been there yet. I immediately go, smells like gas. I always think it smells like gas.
Any smell that isn't a smell she's expecting smells like gas, which I'm sure most of you know gas is a very obvious smell because gas actually smells like nothing. They put something in it so that we can smell it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if like anything, any scent that is off smells like gas.
I think it smells like gas. And I'm so paranoid about it. I'm like, I can't be in here. So I very quickly get ready. And then I go in my back room. I change. I'm getting ready. And I'm like, okay, it smells less like gas in here. I think this might just be like an Airbnb. It smells old or something. Like one of those smells.
Like, is it just musty?
It's just, yes, exactly that thought. I'm like, maybe it's just musty. Or, you know, sometimes when you cook and then, you know, I'm like,
just maybe a lingering scent.
Yeah, I'm like, something smells off. That's definitely for sure. I'm like, whatever. I get ready. I go, leave my stuff there, walk to the other Airbnb because they're really close, and have a great day. Then it's evening. Jeff works at my company, is like, hey, I'm going to go back to our Airbnb. I'm so tired. We're like, go for it, Jeff. And I go, one thought, Jeffy. I know I'm a hypochondriac, but I want to tell you, I think it smells a little bit like gas. You tell me what you think when you go in there.
You be the judge of that.
You be the judge of that.
I think you handled that very well.
I think I did too.
I'm proud of you.
And I go, mind you, I think it always smells like gas.
Yeah.
So I really want you to hear that.
Keep it in mind.
He's like, sounds good. He calls me 10 minutes later and he goes, yeah, it smells like gas in here. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I'm so happy.
Yes.
I've never been happier in my life.
Yeah, you're like, there is a gas leak.
He's like, I really think it smells like gas. And I'm like,
shit.
I'm like, oh my God, right? It doesn't it? And he's like, yeah, by the kitchen, it totally does. He's like, I even had Will come in. We went out in the backyard to like clear our smells.
Yeah.
Came back in. He's like, it definitely smells like gas. Let's just be safe and let's go get a hotel. So we all got hotel rooms. The 3 of us all got, you know, our hotel rooms and went to bed. Next day, I get to the big Airbnb again and there was a gas leak. There fucking was a gas leak. And it was in the attic. We would have died, probably. Who knows?
Remember that drama thing I was talking about earlier?
Okay, you can't tell someone they're dramatic. That's a crazy move.
I can.
Okay, I'll try that on you and see how that lands.
I'm not dramatic. I'm not dramatic.
You wouldn't call yourself dramatic?
No, I would not. And I don't think any of my friends would call me dramatic. Even that time whenever I called you dramatic and then you were like, I'm not dramatic, you're dramatic. Sim was like, you're not dramatic.
When?
I don't know, a little while ago. She was like shocked that you were trying to call me dramatic. She's like, you're not dramatic.
Yeah, but
honey, you're dramatic.
Honey, you can be dramatic. Are you serious?
I can be sensitive. I would never call myself dramatic. No, I would not call myself dramatic. You can think that all you want, but no one in my life would call me dramatic.
I know that, but yeah. I would.
Yeah, I don't think what am I dramatic about?
When we fight, I would say that you are dramatic.
I don't think that's dramatic.
What is that?
I wouldn't call that sensitive. Yeah, I think it'd be sensitive to stuff. Like stuff can hurt my feelings that maybe you would think are not worth hurting my feelings, but dramatic?
You wouldn't call like how you react, not what you react to, but how you then go to react to be dramatic?
No, I wouldn't call it dramatic. I wouldn't.
Okay, well, whatever. Then
I would say like sensitive or emotional. I wouldn't call it dramatic.
Okay.
Like you going to like, probably would have died. It's like, probably wouldn't have died. There can be a gas leak and no deaths happen. Like, obviously, it's worrisome if, like, a fire gets lit in the area where the leak is.
I can see that being dramatic statement. That I can understand.
Yeah. It's like
now I'm just
jumping
fixated on you saying that you are dramatic.
Yeah, I don't think I am.
I can be dramatic sometimes. You don't think you can be dramatic sometimes?
No, not really. I wouldn't say my personality is very dramatic in general. I mean, everyone can be dramatic at some point, but like I wouldn't, if I was listing out qualities I have, dramatic wouldn't be
I would not list out a core quality of mine to be dramatic. And you think I should.
I don't think you should do anything you don't want to do.
You're crazy, dude. Whatever.
Well, whatever. The drama paid off because...
Whatever.
And you didn't handle it dramatically. You said, hey, keep in mind.
We could have died, babe. It was a gas leak. That is true.
But people it's the jumping to that just because there is a chance of death that it becomes like a probable situation in your head.
I'm not saying it's probable. I'm saying we could have.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe we would have. I don't know what I just said about 5 minutes ago, but... But now I'm just fixated elsewhere, and I need to break free of this.
So speaking about being dramatic,
yeah,
I saw a TikTok that I have been hesitant to share with you because I think you're going to think it's an incredible idea, and we're not doing this. So if I'm going to give you an option. I can either never share this information with you.
Can I have like an idea of what it's even about?
It's a safety thing. It's a dramatic safety precaution.
Okay. Health-ish or like locks on doors vibes?
Neither. So I can either share this tidbit and we are not
Why are you choosing that we don't do it? There's two of us.
Because I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
But I could do it.
But if you do it, then it forces me to do it.
I don't think it's fair for you to make a decision on what we are or aren't doing.
Okay, cool. Then I just won't tell you.
That stinks too.
It's going to eat you alive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I want to know, but I just think it's not fair for you to say that we aren't going to do it, no matter what.
Yeah, once you hear it, you'll understand why.
But can't you see that?
I totally hear where you're coming from. Once you know it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that definitely impacts you too much to make you do this.
Oh, is it like baby specific?
I'm just going to read it.
Like pregnancy specific?
Not necessarily.
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you, but I'm scared that you're going to love this.
Okay, tell me. Test me.
So I saw a TikTok of this girl who asked her friend, like, do your parents take different flights? And she's like, no, my parents are together. They fly together. And she's like, no, I mean, like, do they just take different flights? Doesn't everyone's parents take different flights? And she's like, what are you talking about?
So
people fly together. And she said ever since they became parents, they fly separately. So if the plane were to go down, the kids wouldn't lose both parents in one go.
Yeah, I see that.
It's smart, but dramatic, right? We're not doing that, right? You're scaring me. We're not doing that, honey. We're not flying everywhere separately just so that we don't both die.
If air travel's bullshit doesn't get ironed out a little bit,
we just won't fly. We're not flying separate.
Yeah. I mean,
that's crazy.
I'm not like, yes, let's definitely do it. But I do think that we could think about it.
Yeah, they have a point. I do get it.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah. Or we just don't fly anywhere without our kids. And if we go down, we're all going down and then nobody's sad.
I don't want to cut their life short.
I don't want to cut their life short either.
I don't want to cut our life short either. But...
I don't want anyone's life to be cut short. But if it were to go down, I don't want them to have to go into the foster care and all that. Like, we might as well all just go together. No?
I'll think about this a little bit more, I think. All I'm saying is I would like the option to weigh in on decisions for our family safety.
But this one is chaotic. That one's a lot. And
you just said you love being in airports alone.
Oh, shit.
So you're welcome, honey.
Oh, Lordy.
No, I don't know. That sounds insane. But I also do get it.
Yeah.
It's one of those where you're like, all right, that's not that fucking crazy.
Yeah. We got some comments that were saying that we're so obsessed with how hot our kids are going to be, which is insane even call a baby or our potential children hot.
Yeah.
And one, I want to clarify that because we have to go this wild route, like I was talking about this with my mom where she's like, I really didn't understand or realize like the extent that you have to go and the process. And she's like, but it is really cool that you get to test the embryos and make sure that certain diseases and issues aren't going to happen, which, I mean, I guess a lot of people could do if they chose to do IVF, but it's like, what? That's a lot. And I was like, yeah, exactly. And then obviously we were talking about like any upper hand we can give our kid because we have to do it this route. If we 100%. Have to anyways, we might as well make the decisions. But then I saw that a study shows attractive parents make attractive daughters, but not necessarily attractive sons. You know how you can see somebody and their parents are either like really hot and they're not, or like their parents are not that hot, but they randomly are? Yeah. I thought that was so interesting that it is more common for two hot people to make a hot daughter instead of a hot son. Like, oh, it was
who is the determiner of who's hot or not?
I think they take like statistically
not a
like
hot son.
But it is how masculine the features are of the son are linked to how masculine the features of the father are. So like if it's like a straw jawline.
That's interesting for us to think about.
Yeah.
Because our two sperm donors kind of have different views of or different
Yeah,
looks.
but do you care how masculine or not our son looks?
Not at all.
That's where I'm like,
Here's the thing. People being like, oh, you want your kid to be hot, blah, blah, blah. First of all, if you had to choose a mate, you're probably going to choose the more attractive one. If everything else about them is the same.
Yeah.
If they are as smart, as healthy, as kind, as whatever.
Yeah.
You are going to choose who is slightly more attractive to you. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, we had the good analogy in the car of like, if you're at the grocery store and you have a bunch of apples to pick from, you know you're going to buy an apple at the store. Are you going to choose the apple that like looks great and shiny and has no lumps or bumps or brown spots? Yeah, over the one that like has a bruise on it? Absolutely. And then someone said like, well, what if you were having you like fell in love with someone and they didn't have all this? It's like, I already fell in love with my person, but I can't procreate with my person. So
we don't have love to worry about.
Yeah, we're not picking based off of love. We have the love. We are picking off of our best potential option.
100%.
If I was at home and the only apple I had an option to eat had a bruise on it, of course I'd eat the apple. Right. But I'm not going to buy the new apple with the bruise on it. Why would I bother doing that if I am presented
same
the
price,
options?
Same health for you. Yeah. Whatever. It's just a little silly. It's like, you guys,
we have to spend $50,000 to make a child.
Yeah. We are buying sperm.
And I'm not spending more to get like a specific look. Like we have the options. It's the same price for all these options. So I'm going to pick the one that looks more like us. It's taller. That doesn't mean I have anything against short people. I'm fucking short. But I'm going to give our kid the best potential option
We're just trying to make them look like us. And if that means that they're hot, then you're calling us hot. Thank you.
The other fact I learned about men, women, etc., a heat map shows that men look directly ahead and women scan the periphery, which is the same as prey versus predators. Prey have to scan periphery to keep themselves safe, but predators just look straight ahead. So men are predators and women are prey, just to put that out there. Scientifically proven.
What does that mean that we scan the periphery?
It's like...
What does that have to do with child? Or
this doesn't have anything to do with child. Yeah, it's just another fun fact about men are being scary.
You know what's really interesting? Our whole world is built around like comparing men and women. That's like age old, has happened forever. Yeah. Do you think that the rise of like non-binary people will change the way that like will we start to be like men do this, women do this, and non-binary folks or theys or whatever
like will this. It just make like subsets that we compare to?
Yeah, like the same as that population grows, will we start to say men versus women shit less, and will there be like unique characteristics or ways that non-binary people operate in the world that are trends?
Yeah, like, where it's like then it's a comparison of this new subset group. Yeah. I think hopefully it just creates more gray area. Yeah. Instead of like men versus
do this, women do this.
Where that is why I'm like, so many people feel like, oh, I don't fit into that stereotype view you have of women. So if it sounds similar to how I felt when I was coming out and being like, can I be a lesbian if I don't relate to the lesbians I see on TV? So I must not be a lesbian. Yeah. but this is confusing because the definition of a lesbian is a woman who loves a woman, and that is me.
Yeah.
But I don't understand because I don't look like that. I don't act like, I just don't feel like that represents my identity. Mm-hmm. And I think we're now really getting to a point where we can do that with gender, mm-hmm. where it's, okay, I don't like certain things that we have put this box around what it is to be a woman or to be a man. And now it's like, oh, I don't have to fall into these stereotypes. Yeah. Those are antiquated ideas. They don't really serve a purpose like they used to. There used to be a purpose to have those different types of humans fulfilling different roles in the world. Yeah. Where we don't need that anymore. Yeah. I feel like we're so much more advanced in that. So I think, if anything, it's going to make stereotypes kind of fall to the wayside. Of course, there will be women in the world who do fall into those stereotypes of wanting to be a stay-at-home mom and be a homemaker. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, mm-hmm. that is part of feminism. That is saying that a woman can be anything that she wants to be. Yeah. But that's not the only way to be. Yeah. So I think it'll just kind of help those stereotypes kind of fall to the wayside. Because I'm even kids now, I was going to say when we were growing up, even kids growing up now, whenever they're born, whatever parts they're born with, they are then told, you're going to like this or you're going to do that. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't need to do that. Yeah. So I think with the rise of understanding of non-binary existing, and even if you are just a cis woman or man, mm-hmm. you don't have to fall into these stereotypes that are somehow associated to your body parts.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so
interesting, huh?
Hopefully it'll create a little gray area for people to do what they want.
Subject change, but at dinner, our second night of our work trip, we were all like, we went out to this Mexican place. We're all at dinner, and
what'd you eat?
Would you eat? Would you eat?
Sounded so Pittsburgh. Would you eat?
Would you eat? Yeah. Well, so many thoughts here. One, we ordered queso fundido.
How was it?
It's fine. But I had this whole thought. I had this big epiphany about queso fundido.
Oh.
Only certain groups of friends order queso fundido, and you know who those people are, who people you might order queso fundido with versus who you wouldn't order queso fundido with.
What do you mean?
Like, if you go to a Mexican restaurant with two friends versus other two friends, before you even go, you know which group is more likely to get the queso fundido.
Like, are you saying there's like the chips and salsa group and there's the chips and queso group?
The chips and queso group is getting queso and guac.
Okay.
But
I like salsa and guac.
Yes, but that's because you're vegan. If you could get queso fundido at places, you would.
I don't think so.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
But
maybe. I used to at Chili's all the time when I was little.
Like, if I don't know how to describe it. There's an unspoken thing that's like, these are queso fundido people.
Okay, what's the stereotype of the queso group?
It's unspoken. That's what I'm saying. It can't be said.
It's just a feeling.
It's like fun. Fun people get queso fundido.
Whoa. I'm fun and I don't get queso.
You can't get queso. 10 times, 10 out of 11
if they had a
places
vegan queso, I'm getting it.
But people that don't get queso fundido can still be fun, but it's just different.
You sound like when our friends had that like term, those two terms for the two types of people, and it did not make sense. Yes. And we would like name people who should fit into one, and they're like, no, not that person though. Yes. And it made no sense.
Like name one of our friends.
Sim. Because I feel like they know.
Is Sim queso fundido? You want to say no?
I want to say no.
But it's not because she's not fun.
But I don't like the idea that it's not fun.
No. That's why I didn't even want to say it, because it's not that.
Yeah.
But then Veronica is probably queso fundido.
She's queso fundido.
It doesn't make any sense.
Wait, I don't get it.
Yes. Tyler and Taryn, not queso fundido.
Your mom, not. Your dad, yes. Yes. Holy shit, it is
Brett
obvious.
And Jana, queso fundido. Jason and Rebecca?
No.
It's crazy.
It's so obvious.
But it literally can't be described.
My mom and dad, I feel like they're harder.
They're hard because they don't like go out to dinner very much. So it's like,
my mom, yes. My dad, no.
Your mom would. Your dad wouldn't. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
He doesn't like cheese.
I don't even think Lee and Amy would. They don't give me
Lee,
queso
yes.
fundido.
Amy, no.
Anyway, play this, Peepees, play this with your group
Are
of
you
friends,
a queso
people in your
crew or
life.
no?
What makes you queso fundido?
And it's funny because any of these people we just named could text me right now and be like, yes, I would, or no, I wouldn't. It could be wrong, but we're still right.
Oh,
You're
no.
It's not about what you really do.
It's about your perception. It's about your perception of them.
Wow.
Bia and Sid?
Queso.
I think they could go either way.
I think they're queso.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or Sid, yes. Bia sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Anyway, I just thought that was really funny.
That's crazy.
But so when we were at dinner, that wasn't even the point of all of this.
Oh, sorry. We got sidetracked because I asked you what you ate.
We were asking questions. Someone was like, I love good questions. Anyone have good questions? And I sat quietly and I just thought,
if only there were a dick of cogs.
I just thought, dude, this is perfect for me. I'm loving that this is the conversation that people are having.
You didn't tell them?
No, I didn't tell them.
Why?
I just didn't.
Honey.
Yeah, I didn't. But
you got to work on your self promo.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm like, I'll get there and I'll tell the team once it's
when do you
time.
get your cards? It's
like
soon.
next month or something. But Sean Brown, cool guy, pulls out his phone and he's like, I keep a list of some questions that I love. We're all asking questions, whatever. Then I'm like, I
can't believe you didn't tell them.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed.
You know what it is? It's like,
I think they would have been really excited for you.
I think they would too. But you know what it is? It's like working on when to expose different parts of yourself at work.
Yeah.
And I'm very myself already there.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's another layer of like, oh, do I then go, like, I felt like I talked about myself enough at this point.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't need to also do this at dinner.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you always been open with your sexuality in a work environment? Because I feel like most of your work environments have been laid back in startups.
Yeah.
And like social too. Have you always been open?
No, it has gotten easier over time.
Yeah.
Especially as I've progressed in my life, like living with you or living with like a significant other really changes it because it's like who your roommate is also your person.
Yeah,
it's like I live with my partner.
It naturally comes up.
And then now that I'm married, it's just 10x easier to just say like my wife.
Yeah.
And whatever. But you know, early days I wasn't, like early 20s career, I wasn't really talking about it because I didn't feel as comfy yet. It was like,
and when you have to go out of your way to share it,
right,
it makes it a lot harder.
Especially when people are like go out of their way, or it's so easy to say, oh yeah, your boyfriend or your whatever. It's like, okay, I don't want to get into correcting you right now. So there was no conscious decision. It's just like as it got more obvious in my life, it felt a lot easier to just be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're asking all these questions, whatever. And then I asked the question of, like, we played the game of how much money would someone have to pay you for X, Y, and Z. And one of them was, how much would someone have to pay you to stay in the Airbnb, beautiful, massive, gorgeous Airbnb, by yourself for a year, no Wi-Fi, but you had TV, and no one could visit you.
Can you leave it?
No.
Oh, you're just in this house for a year straight.
Yeah.
I can call you?
No, we can't talk.
Why?
Can't talk.
I can call. I don't need Wi-Fi to call you.
But you can't talk to me.
I don't get to see you for a year?
A year.
I'm not doing it.
I think that's crazy.
That I wouldn't do it?
Multiple people at the table said they wouldn't. No, one person said, I'm not doing that.
A year?
One year?
No contact?
Baby. For $30 million.
Honey, we couldn't handle 4 days.
$30 million.
Do I have to pay taxes?
No. Cash. $30 million. That would we could pay for our kids' college.
A year though?
1 year.
That pushes us back having babies for a
know.
year. What if you find somebody else?
I can't leave.
No, but we're not there together.
I'm not leaving anyway. What? I think of you fondly every day.
A year?
$30 million?
Can we write letters?
No.
No contact.
No contact.
No contact with anyone.
The only rule
what
is
if,
that...
like, one of my parents got sick or something? No, I'm not doing this. It sounds horrible.
Okay. I see
a
that.
year? Think of how much you hated COVID, but you got to talk to people, play games with people. What the fuck am I doing for a year? Can I
Working
order food?
on a project?
Can I how? I have no Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. Writing?
I'm not a writer.
Food is handled.
Food's handled. Is it good?
Yeah. Good? Yeah. It's delivered to you. It's fine.
Can I have the dogs?
Nope.
Fuck. You couldn't do it. You'd be worried sick every day. You'd be so worried that you'd come back and someone's dead. You could go to a hospital. Honey, this would ruin you. You can't go.
I think I would.
And do what? You would think you're having a heart attack every day.
Maybe
it would cure you.
Maybe it would cure me.
Because you'd eventually be like, I didn't die all year.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die every day, 365 days.
Yep.
I'm still kicking.
I'd have all my utensils, all my little shit to track everything. You work out all day. You get fit. You eat. You write.
A year would feel really long in these circumstances.
The other piece that's important.
You're like going to a really fancy jail.
Yes.
But in jail, you can communicate with people.
The other piece that's really important is that the house backs up to a golf course.
So you can see people?
So you would see people all the time.
Yeah.
You're not communicating, but you are seeing them.
And you could just watch TV.
You see 50 people a day in person.
You can't talk to them, though?
You can't talk to them, but you can wave.
Oh, 500 million.
You wouldn't do it for 400 million.
I'm like, I'm so bad at these because I'm like, someone's going to me right now. You just have to be here for a year. No communication.
1 year.
How much would you need to have me go for a year? You don't go. I go for a year.
Knowing how much you would hate it, even though I want to go?
Yeah,
I don't want to go.
It's
Sorry,
just,
let me be clear.
Just for, I was like, fuck. No, someone would be like, I'm offered it, and you and I are talking about it. And how much would you be like, Cam, this could be really helpful for our family?
I mean, $100 would be helpful for our family, but I'm not doing it there.
Fuck you.
No, it would literally have to be a life-changing amount of money, which is why I'm saying 30 million plus, that would be able to buy our families whatever, homes or whatever.
Life.
We would pay for our kids' college. We could donate a lot of it. We could do cool shit with that amount of money.
I feel like 30 million would fly out.
How?
We'd get a little too generous. We'd be dropping millions to friends and family.
I'm not giving a friend
and then we'd
a
be
million.
like, whoa, we got nothing left. I don't think 30's enough.
Now look at
100.
you.
100. I'll do it for
100 feels good, doesn't it?
100 million feels good.
50 million
doesn't feel good.
Okay.
I want triple digit mills.
It also is easier when you're younger. But what's also important is
where
it's
we
easier.
Are in life, that's if we weren't about to have kids.
But babe, people that have kids would do it. But
that's
for
crazy.
An
you're gonna miss
insane
a year.
amount of
You're
money.
gonna miss a year of your kids' lives and not be able to talk to them.
It's insane.
No.
It's insane.
No. Absolutely.
But this is the last year we can do it. We should do it.
You're right. Like we're actually getting the offer.
I love that game. PBs, if you're looking for a fun game to play with your friends, you just say, how much money would it take you to do X?
Yeah.
And then you just go around and see who has the lowest amount.
It's really close to my other favorite game of Perfect in Every Way, but I love that. All right. Do we have a story to read? You got something for us?
You want to tell them our thoughts on PP of the Weeky?
No PP of the Weeky this week because none of you bitches deserve it. No, I'm just kidding. We just didn't look, so we were like, you know what? Instead of before we record just like looking and picking, we are just gonna like only share it when we notice something that we want to share. Yeah. Instead of like forcing a PP of the Weeky, because nobody wants that.
Look, now you really gotta shine.
Yeah.
You want to be PP of the Weeky?
Shine bright like a diamond.
You gotta get wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Step it up, soldiers.
A heartbroken PP has written into us.
Oh no.
Subject line: she is leaving me for Jesus.
Fuck. Oh my God. Yesterday I was on a podcast.
Tell them. They're going to be so excited because in the group chat.
I'm on the Made It Out podcast and I'm so excited. It's so good. Mal is an incredible host and the episodes are so digestible. They're like 30 minutes and they're so interesting. And I was listening to a bunch while I was getting ready to go on the podcast. And it's so crazy how relatable, how good it feels to like hear stories that are so different from yours, but so similar. I was like, I didn't even felt like I needed to feel relatable on these things. Yeah. And it feels so good. We had such a good conversation. We talked about anxiety and depression and it was really intense, but sweet and great. But before we did the podcast, they asked, like, who's your, you know, that trend right now, like, you're lesbian, Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit.
I didn't see that.
There's like a trend going around, and I was like, I don't even know what those mean. And I posed the question to them, where did Jesus go?
Yeah.
For the second time. No one fucking knew. And Mal's from Texas. Like, she should know that.
This really blew my mind. I don't know if we talked about this on the last episode, but I've been shipping this to every group I go to because I can't stop thinking about it. After Easter, I had this realization that I have no idea where Jesus went the second time. After he resurrected.
Yeah, that's what I just said. That's what I'm talking about.
I know. I'm breaking it down.
No, we talked about this last podcast. That's why I brought it up.
God, I'm still here again. Jesus, I can't let it go. Jesus, where are you?
Maybe that's literally why I told them. We just talked about
it. Also, we went to dinner with Mal and her girlfriend Mathilde before, and Mathilde produced this podcast.
Yeah.
Before we left on our trips.
As an icebreaker dinner.
As an icebreaker dinner, which was so fun. And you know what? Nothing is better than going to dinner with a couple and going, we can be friends. This is easy.
Oh my God. It's the best.
This is easy.
It's the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
To meet people who you want to have so much in common with, but also are in like a similar phase of life too. Yeah. And then just being like, wait, I really like you.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It'll be a long distance friendship. They live on the west side of LA. We're never going there.
I left yesterday and I was like, okay, see y'all next year.
Literally. We'll never see them again.
When will I see you?
But we shared a very intimate, like fancy dinner.
Oh yeah. It was coursed me off.
And you know what? They bought us dinner and we always buy everybody dinner so that we could not stop talking about that.
Yeah. They felt like us. It was weird. It's so weird because I feel like we're like the moms of any group we're in usually. Mm-hmm. We're like, if somebody's treating to dinner, it's us.
Yeah. We're just like, a little bit older, I think, than a lot of our friends.
So to go and feel like, one, we were so like matched. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, we are just so at the similar place in so many elements of our lives.
Yeah.
And then for them to treat us to dinner,
that was insane.
I was like, no, that's my job.
We were like this.
What? Yeah, I was like, there can only be room for one of us. Yeah, it was really sweet. Okay, back to the heartbreak. Okay,
she's leaving me for Jesus.
How dare she?
Hi, girlies. Some backstory. I have been seeing my girlfriend for a little over a year. Tara, her story is a lot like yours. We go to a Christian university. She had a boyfriend for 2 years and cheated on him with me. Ended up leaving him, and we started to be together. Neither of us knew we were into girls. We had been living together since June. Neither of us are out, and it's been really hard on both of us. I do not really practice my faith, but she does. We don't really talk about the situation because she doesn't like to. Before she left for spring break, I asked her to please think about our situation together. Oh. She got back and told me today that she doesn't know how to feel about us anymore. She's really struggling. Her family is really conservative and gross, honestly. Mine is too, but I can see them warming up to the idea of us. That's a nice feeling, I will say. Her family, I'm honestly scared of it that, sorry, I can't read this sentence, break my brain. Her family, I'm honestly scared of it that day ever does come.
If that day.
If.
I got you, baby.
Okay. Her family, I'm honestly scared of if that day ever does come. Yeah. Anyway. When she visits her family, she doesn't text me, doesn't talk to me, and it makes me go a little crazy, honestly. She got back from her spring break and just broke down saying she doesn't think she can do this anymore. She sees it as a sin and hates herself for not figuring this out a year ago. Oh. I hate being seen as a sin. I hate seeing her so upset, thinking about telling her family. Her family is her everything. She values them over all else. I feel stupid for even thinking that she would choose me over them. But the love that we have for each other is so real, and I can't imagine my life without her or loving someone like her ever again. I am the classic case of I only like girls for her, but I don't really like guys either. Please let me know what you think. Love, a heartbroken peepee.
Little peepee.
Little peeperton.
You want to give some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this felt like reading my own story. Mm-hmm.
And look at you now.
And look at me now. First of all, look at me now. Hopefully that does make you feel a little bit better. But I think there's a lot of things wrapped up in this story. One of them is the religious aspect is bad and hard, and it really fucking sucks. The second is that this is like your first relationship with a woman and potentially your first like ever love. I don't know if you've been in love before, but that is also just a hard thing to move on from. Then there is the like Romeo and Juliet, we can't be together, like all the stress of that. So like there's so much here.
And romanticizing it and sometimes seeing somebody as better than they are when you know you can't have them.
100%. And then that's just you. That's just your feelings and all of this. And then there's a whole other person that has their whole other life and their goals and dreams and things that they're afraid of. And so when religion is a part of that, it tends to be the easiest thing to like blame all of it on. In my story, it got to the point where when someone sees you, it lumps you in as sin and you don't feel that way, like your beliefs are different than that. I would lean into that to get over this. And I know that sounds really weird, but that is what I had to do, which was like our relationship. I can't think about the fact that, oh my God, we were meant to be yada, yada, yada. Yeah. We're so perfect for each other. We're the best of friends. We're this, that. If only she could just see that. Because in her head, she is dealing with a much bigger, crazier heart battle. Like her belief in what the world is about is really what this is.
There's no world where you have a healthy relationship with somebody who thinks your relationship is sin.
It's just impossible. Mm-hmm. And so with me and my first ex, it was like, okay, we just can't be together because we have fundamentally different beliefs about like what a relationship is and what this love every day. And I don't want to feel like that when you look at me. Yeah. I don't want to feel like I have to convince you that I am not sin. Mm-hmm. That's bad for your mental health. That is not a good or doable place to live your life. It's not right. Yeah. So I think it's like for trying your hardest to forget about all of the other shit and just remembering that like you guys have fundamentally different beliefs right now about if you can even have a relationship. And until she figures that stuff out, if she does, then this is just not going to be good for you at all. It can't be. It like actually can't be. Yeah. And once me and my first ex like split, we're apart for a couple of years, I think. And then that changed for her. Mm-hmm. And then we got back together and we actually had like a nice relationship, like a real love. Mm-hmm. But it was actual hell when we were in the like, is this sinful stage? Yeah. It's actually painful. And I just don't want that for you. So I'm really sorry you're in it, but like from someone from the other side, you will not change her beliefs.
She's got to do
you
that
like
on
actually
her own.
Can't. And it's a thing where she needs this to unravel in her own heart, or you will always be tied to it. Yeah. And she'll always be like, almost like blame you for putting her through this is how it can feel. Mm-hmm. And that's just, her family doesn't matter. Nothing matters until she figures out what reality she wants to live in. Yeah. And you just can't push that along either way.
And I think it's helpful to kind of separate some of the big feelings that are happening here. This is such a common experience with queer people and their first big love. And it's a common thing for straight people in their first big love. Like that first big love is a lot. Most people have that, and it is, your world is ending when it's over, and your world doesn't end. You move on, you're grateful for that time, you appreciate that person and what you had, and you find someone better suited for you. But it gets very heightened in queer relationships. You add the level of secrecy. Yeah. You add like toxic relationships last long because people become addicted to that toxicity. Yeah. Like it is, you're adding so many, not you're adding, but there are so many layers involved in it that make it feel bigger, more emotional, more difficult. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to separate those feelings of like, if I lose this person because I can't look past the way she's feeling and not wanting to tell her family, and then I'm never going to love someone like her, she's my exception. She's not the exception. Yeah. I've never heard of somebody who has that. I know so many people who have said those exact things. Mm-hmm. You're my exception. Like most people, when they first start falling in love with somebody,
we've all had our exception.
It's the gateway. I don't know many people who that truly only has been the exception, except for people who had the ability to lie to themselves to maintain their faith. So you're going to be fine. You're going to find someone who you adore and love and is so much better suited for you in a million and one ways, not just the religious aspect. And you're going to really appreciate that this unfolded the way it did. Or for all you know, she does work her stuff out. You do get to date again. Like, I feel like you got almost the dream that people hope for of you guys had to break up because of the religious side. She came around and you guys gave it a go. And then it still didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
and
so
now
much...
she is married to a woman and I am married to a woman and we're both happy and everything's great. But like, we were not going to get there on our first relationship. We would have never gotten there.
Yeah. But it's just funny because it's so easy to put all of the blame of why this can't work on the religious side of it.
Yeah.
Because it blinds you to accepting any way that you're maybe not compatible for each other.
Right.
So yeah, this is a really hard thing, and allow yourself to be in that. Just because you know, or everyone tells you it's going to get better, this is all has a purpose, we've all gone through it, that doesn't make it hurt any less.
Totally.
That doesn't make this any easier. It almost is a rite of passage, unfortunately, and it's so fucking painful. But I like, maybe spend time sitting there and writing down like what a beautiful life could look like for you 10, 15, 20 years down the line, like what you'd really want. Like, try to focus on the good that could potentially come from this, and know that you can't change someone. And like you said, you don't want to make her pick between her family and you, but that's not what we're picking here. She is seeing it as a sin. You need to pick for like respecting and loving yourself and wanting a healthy, happy relationship, and not just with somebody who can't get there yet.
And until and if she ever gets the confidence to that being gay isn't an issue in religion and in her life, she will never stand up for you to her family the way that you deserve.
Yeah.
And if her family is everything, that will be a lifelong contentious thing. Because if you believe deep down like what I'm doing is wrong, even if she's willing to push past that for a little bit, she's not going to be able to just be happy and have joy about your relationship with her family, and that will rub off on you. And you deserve someone to believe in their heart that what they're doing in a loving mutual relationship is a positive thing, because it is. But like no amount of you pushing back on that is going to help her get there faster, which is a sad reality that I learned through years of trying. And especially when you said you're not as religious as her, like you probably don't want to spend your time in the Bible trying to work through theology with her and explain things. Like, you don't see it that way. And then also pretend she was religious for the rest of her life and you're not religious for the rest of your life, and she ends up feeling fine about wanting to have kids with you and being together with you and whatever. Do you want to be with a Christian person as a non-religious person? Do you want to raise your kids in that sort of life where this will be a contentious thing for a while? Not saying every relationship between a Christian and a non-Christian is contentious.
But it sounds like it is.
I mean, if
you're ashamed of your relationship, that's no way to live.
Just no way to live.
Yeah. I'm really sorry that you're going through this.
It fucking sucks.
And I wish I could get like a little crystal ball and see where you are in a few years, because I know it's somewhere really great.
It's going to be better than you ever could have imagined. And please don't tell yourself that just because this one thing might not work out doesn't mean you're never going to find love. We've all been there and we've all wallowed in it for months, a year, whatever. But I promise you it is not the case. And I promise you it will be 10 million times better than what you are experiencing right now.
Yeah, and I think probably like 99.9 to 100% of people are happy things panned out the way they did with 100%. Their first love that they thought they'd never ever find better, and they did. You
have to believe that the future relationship or relationships that you are about to have will make this experience that you're having be like laughable, that you even thought that was what true real love should look like in practice. Like, that is how probably both of us feel. I don't want to speak for you, but that is how I feel 100%. When I look at past relationships in my life. I'm like, bro, that is so sweet of little me to think that that's what this was all supposed to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
I hope that in 10 years you're sat with your wife on a couch recording a podcast.
Giggling.
Sharing answering someone's question about their big love going away and how you think your life is just over because of it.
It's just beginning.
Just beginning.
I love you both.
I love you.
Sorry going through that. We love you guys. Love you, peepees. If you want any extra content or you want to be in the top peepee only channel on Discord, go to patreon.com/stayingup. I posted an episode last week. Did we already talk about this? I forget when we recorded.
There's eppies up there. Head on over. Give them a listen. It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's unhinged and goofy.
And they're places they will only live there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Next week. Bye, peepees. Bye.